This is Michael. My identification number is 610079. Can we get your name, please?
Stacey Flowers.
Stacey, how can I help you today?
Yes, I was wondering what you can tell me, if you could tell me what my daily interest rate is for my student loans.
Sure. It changes, though. I can tell you what it is right now. As the balance gets smaller, slowly this number will get smaller, too.
Okay.
Okay? Just hold on. So, let me add some numbers up.
Okay.
Your interest rate is 5.5, as you know. But the daily that comes, the daily that you're responsible for every day at this point is
27.26. Is that $27.26?
That's what, yes.
So $27.26 a day, and then just gonna times that by 30.
We usually do 31 because that's the longest month possible.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's $845.06 a month.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey Flowers, and I am a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University and on a journey to become 100% debt-free. My current debt is $184,677.27. I'm currently on baby step number 1 to save $500, and I work part-time and earn anywhere between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a detailed overview of my debt snowball. So if you are interested in seeing the types of debt that I have, the amount of interest that is occurring daily and monthly, and sort of just what my debt snowball consists of, please keep watching. If you listen to the intro, you know that one of my debts is costing me daily $27.26. That means monthly, or every 31 days, it is costing me $845.06. And I opened up the video with that because as I'm about to update this debt snowball, you know, originally when I created my debt snowball in October, that is now October, November, December, January, February, March. That is 6 months ago. So in a 6-month period of time, $845.06 times 6 has been added to a particular debt, but that is not counting the interest that has been compounded on the other debts that I have. And I wanted to bring that up because my debt snowball number, while in my last update video it went down significantly because I had a significant portion forgiven, what you will notice is that my debt snowball is getting larger every single day, literally, but also every single month. And I wanted to talk about that and get some details around that so that I can actually start making specific plans to attack this debt. I just want to make a quick note before we dive into the numbers. A part of the reason why this video didn't come initially when everyone was requesting it is because there were some things that I needed to do so that I could handle looking at this in this level of detail. And the number one thing that I needed to do was to restore my financial dignity. For me, it does not make sense for me to inspect my debts to figure out what I owe to other people when I cannot take care of myself. For me, all that would create is overwhelm, and I was not interested in being overwhelmed. You guys know that my priority is my overall mental and physical health and well-being. And with that being said, I know for me, and that's the thing, I kind of know in many ways how I'm set up. I know for me, until my financial dignity was in place, looking at my debts in detail, and when I say detail, I mean the number, the interest, like the detail. You guys heard in the opening, right? One of my debts is creating $845 a month worth of more debt, you know? So there was a measure, there's a place that I needed to be in before I could handle taking in any more information. And so if you are anything like me and you are wanting to go on this journey and you're like, why am I so overwhelmed? Why? A lot of it just has to do with the order in which you're doing things. I had mentioned in another video that like my financial plan is Financial Peace University, but my financial goals, which are milestones to me being able to achieve my overall plan, they were 4, and the number one goal was to restore my financial dignity. And for me, before I could look at the debts in the way that I'm about to break them down for you guys, I needed my financial dignity. And financial dignity for me was consistently paying my child support, consistently paying my son commission, taking care of my feminine hygiene products, medical insurance, just being able to cover my rent, cover the things that allow me to be a functioning adult. Like it was very important that I had my financial dignity in place, because trying to pay other people back when my financial dignity was in place, something bad. It was just, as Jan Van Sant would say, it was not going to turn out well for the creditor or for myself, and I was uninterested in that. But now that my financial dignity has been restored, I am eager to look at the details of my current debt snowball. So the first thing that I want to address is the elephant in the room, and the debt that is occurring, $845.06 a month. It is my student loans, and the two loans combined, the total debt as of today, March 2018, is $180,968.93. And again, if you guys remember back in October when I shared my initial debt snowball, and I'm like, it's $208,000, I looked at the static number that was owed for student loans, added that to all the other static numbers. As I've been progressing from October until now, I have not added any interest. I have not added interest intentionally, because it was not something that I had the capacity to be able to even think through while I was trying to progress on this journey. So I want you to be clear that the number that I have now is different than the number that I started with because of interest. And if you think about it, October, November, December, January, February, March, it's 6 months. 6 times $845 is quite a lot of money. Also wanted to talk about it because I think so many people get discouraged when they're paying their student loans, especially, but when they're paying on any debt, because it feels like no matter what I put on this debt, it doesn't go anywhere. And a lot of that has to do is because you don't understand your debt and interest. You don't understand your debt and how it is collecting interest. So if you have any sort of like paycheck advance, buy here, pay here car, 30 days same as cash type experience, the idea with those types of debts is for you to default so that they can charge you the 125%, which ultimately makes you feel like it is an impossible debt to get rid of. With student loans, the idea is for you to carry, and when I say the idea, I mean the idea from the creditor's mind. Because from the creditor's side, as long as you owe them, their company is still doing well. So even though it seems like the creditors want you to be able to get the furniture for your house, or want you to be able to get your education, or want you to be able to pay for your wedding on your visa, even though it seems like the creditors are saying, you know what, we really want to help you to get the thing that you really want right now, what the creditors are really saying is, I have a business and my business is lending money. And the way that I make money is that the longer you have a loan, or the longer you owe me, the more interest I'm able to collect from you. Because if you guys think about it, with my student loans, let's just look at last year. My student loans, you guys know I didn't work. I just filed my taxes, so I'll in another video talk about like what I actually earned. But $845.06 times 12. Last year, my student loans earned, that company that houses my student loans earned $10,140.72 from me. And they didn't have to do anything else. They didn't have to go out and get another student to take out another loan. They didn't have to try to market to me. Just by simply extending, for me, just me extending the life of my loan, I gave them $10,000, right? So it's like the debt business is an amazing business, because I can make $10,000 a year off of Stacey Flowers if she chooses to ignore the fact that she has loans with us, and I don't have to do anything else. Now, you can, in your mind, you're like, yeah, but they run the risk of you never paying it. What happens? Well, it turns out my loans are backed by the federal government. So let's just pretend I'm one of those people who doesn't accept responsibility for my finances and the money that I've borrowed. And I just decide, you know what? I'm not going to do anything about it. And my loan goes into default completely. The government is backing this loan. So whatever I owe to this credit company, because they have a for lack of a better expression, insurance policy with the federal government backing my loans, if I default to the point where I never pay, you know, worst case scenario, I pass away and I don't pay, or another worst case scenario, I just say, screw them, I'm not going to pay, they will get their money from the federal government. But here's the thing. As a tax-paying citizen, they're not getting their money from the federal government. They're getting their money from other tax-paying citizens. So it's this like weird, odd loop-de-loop. So a lot of people ask me why I'm so insistent about paying back my student loans, why I don't feel wrong, because like somebody had wrote me this very long letter about how she paid so much of her student loans and at the end of the year her bill was exactly the same and she feel like she got screwed. And I just was like, your perspective on student loans could, this is specifically what I wrote to her. I said, your perspective could be a little bit narrow and a little bit jaded. Pardon my stiff finger, I jammed my finger so I can't bend this finger, but it may be a little bit jaded, and it may be a little bit narrow because you're looking at this from the perspective of me, what am I going to have, what am I not going to have. And so for me, I have my perspective on my student loans, but I also have a global, maybe a national and then a global perspective on my student loans. I understand that everything that's backed by the federal government is ultimately paid for by tax-paying citizens for the country that I reside in. I happen to adore the country that I reside in. I happen to think that despite our flaws, this is a wonderful country to be born in and to be able to come up in, and or to be, you know, raised in this particular century. And for that reason, I don't want to burden other citizens of my country with my debt. I don't want, and it plays a little bit into, a lot of people have been asking me, you know, why won't you go on assistance? It's the same sort of thing. Like, I am highly educated, and I believe that, and not that I believe, I know that right now I'm making choices. I am choosing to work part-time. When you can choose to work part-time, whether it's uncomfortable or not, like somewhere in there you got to say, hey, this is my responsibility. Like, I could choose to do something else, but I'm choosing to do this. Yes, it's for a good reason, my health and my well-being, but it doesn't take away the fact that there's a gap between I can't and I'm choosing. And I definitely can, but I'm making a different choice. And I just want to point that out because I think that when it comes to paying back massive debts, we have a very irresponsible thought process and approach to it, and I am all about accepting responsibility. I know it doesn't necessarily seem like that because I let it accumulate, but don't mistake me mismanaging my money or me not having a sound financial blueprint for me not earnestly wanting to take full responsibility for the debts that I owe, because I 1000% do. But I'm also realizing as I'm getting into the details and the brass tacks that it is going to require something super amazing from me in order to be able to do that, because I won't be able to get in front of my student loans, right? Because if you know anything about sort of the structure of loans or debts, is that when you make payments, it doesn't go primarily to your principal, it goes primarily to your interest. And so essentially I need to cover $845 a month in interest before I'm attacking the principal that creates the $845 a month. I'm hoping that that makes sense. In more videos, we're going to get really into it. And I'll break it down a little bit more. But I just wanted to point that out because my debt snowball number is obviously different because I create $845 worth of debt on one loan a month. And that's significant. So let's get into the specific numbers as they are today. So my largest debt is my student loans. The current balance is $180,968.93. Daily, I am charged $27.26. Monthly, I am charged $845.06. The next largest debt after that is my collections. My collections are made up of, my car was repossessed, it was subsequently sold, the balance was reduced, and there's a balance of $7,570 left over, plus other collections that I had when I moved unexpectedly, and like my utilities went into collections and just different things like that. That total balance is $10,320.60. At this time, and I've called all of my creditors and I've received updated bills from all of the collections, it's not interest bearing. However, I think that my car note is going to be interest bearing, but the last person I talked to, she said that it wasn't. She didn't really seem sure, so I'm going to follow up with her, and if that does change, I will let you guys know. So at this time, there is no daily, there is no monthly interest on my collection accounts. And when I say collections, I mean each of these accounts has gone through the original creditor saying, pay us our money, you can have a settlement, it's going to affect your credit, then it being sold to a company, and then it being subsequently sold to another company. So it's like been through a couple of collection companies. So the third debt that I have is a business debt. The original balance was $5,748.40. Daily, I am incurring interest of $9.27. Monthly, I'm incurring interest of $287.42. The fourth debt that I have in my debt snowball is my credit card through PayPal. That current balance is $566.65. Daily, I am creating a 30-cent interest, and then monthly, it is coming out to $9.50. And I'm bringing this up for several reasons. One, I want you guys to be able to see the details. I want you to understand the shifting in numbers. I want to also help you to look at your debts, because not looking at them certainly doesn't make them go away. You guys saw that $18,000 last month was forgiven, but it doesn't seem like it's drastically impacting this debt because of interest. And I have to figure out a way to get in front of my interest. So I was talking to my friend and I was sharing with her about how, you know, the reduction of the 18,000, or the forgiveness of the 18,000 plus the reduction in the cost for my car note. I told her, I was just like, you know, my total is near the $25,000 that I originally said in my financial goal video that I wanted to pay off. And I was like, it's fascinating that just looking at my debt is creating this energy around it that's eliminating it. And I was just like, there's a part of me that feels very close to having achieved that goal. Although it didn't come through the way that I wanted it, which was me actually paying it off, I'm still very close to having taken care of at least $25,000 worth of the original debt that I started with. That being said, again, as I'm looking at my numbers now, rather than saying to myself, well, because you didn't cash for dollar pay off that $25,000 debt, you need to set another $25,000 and pay that off. I'm not going to do that, because it's not healthy not to celebrate the small wins. It's not healthy not to celebrate things just because they didn't show up the way that you thought that they were going to show up, right? Like, getting a debt forgiven is worthy of a celebration, especially if it causes you to reach the number that you set out for yourself. So what the goal that I'm adding specifically now as I'm looking at my debt is to figure out how to get in front of the daily and monthly interest that occurs on my current debt. My monthly interest that I'm creating on all of my debts are $845.06 plus $287.42 plus $950. So monthly, I am creating more debt at a rate of $1,141.98 a month. So my new financial goal is to increase my income by $1,141.98. Now, we know that I have an overall financial goal of getting to 50K, but as I'm making my way to that number, my milestone will be a monthly increase of $1,141.98. And I want to intentionally do that with the plan of setting that aside specifically for debt, because I know that it's going to feel impossible for me to get out of debt until I can cover the monthly interest that is being created. It's not enough to just pay my minimums, because my minimums technically aren't really doing anything for these debts because my interest is so significant. So I'm hoping that makes sense for you guys. That is a detailed breakdown of my debt snowball. And so if you've been following along on my journey on the last few videos, I'm like, my current debt is $184,677 and such cents. Well, that was accurate a couple of months ago, but the truth is my current debt, with all of the interest that's bearing every single month, has now skyrocketed. I don't want you guys to get discouraged. There is a possibility of paying this off. It is just about being persistent and being patient and believing in the impossible, which is something that I'm quite capable of doing. So there will be more to come with respect to how I intend to make the income, or how I intend to increase my income and things of that nature. But in the interim, I hope that this video was helpful for you in terms of you following along in my journey and tracking not only my income, but also my expenses. And I just want to make a note. I am doing well. Like, I am doing well. I started this journey making no income. My income has increased. It has been pacing. I am feeling more confident about what I'm capable of doing. I've done a soft open for my company. So I am doing well. So I'm hoping that this video doesn't show up discouraging. I hope this video shows up encouraging and just a little bit more clarity around my plan, my goals, and my intentions on becoming 100% debt free. So I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.